Today I'm going to talk about petticoats. Petticoats are an underlayer that's used for period costumes and gowns. It can be used for contemporary evening wear or even just for a summer cotton dress that needs a little perkiness of ruffle under the hem of it to hold it out a little bit. So the basic theory of petticoats is that we're building layers of different weights of ruffles to get the silhouette that we want. So in past centuries, many different kinds of materials were used. I'm sure you've heard about the cages that were made with whalebone and metal. There were even in some cases little pulleys that were used to raise the sides out. Panniers, the giant side ruffle that Marie Antoinette used to wear. So there's been a lot of very artificial means for women to help keep their skirts out. The hoop skirt, most famously in the Civil War era, these giant. Personally, I prefer a more natural look, and one of the reasons we use petticoats is to help protect the fabric. So, for example, if a fabric is an expensive evening wear fabric or brocade, it needs an underlayer that it can just sort of sit gently on. We don't want to fuse it and put horsehair in the hem and force it out. We want the underlayer to do the work, and then the more expensive, delicate fabric to just sort of lay on top of it gently, still letting it have some movement. So the idea would be to keep it as natural looking as possible and still get the effect that we want. So the petticoat and all its ruffles and materials can help us get those shapes. So here's a few of the materials that I commonly use. First of all, I have an underlayer that's a rayon taffeta, which makes a great under the skin layer or between the fabric and the skin, because it's soft and it's got a little bit of crispness, but not too much. Then there are different weights of crinoline and net that we can use. This is a heavy crinoline. You can see how much it sticks out. It's a very coarse piece of fabric that is used for ruffles and to really give you some loft. Here is a net that's also quite stiff and stands out, although it's quite finer than the crinoline. And then here is a tulle that's very soft and would be used for a much softer fabric. And then going even further, this is a beautiful silk tulle that's very fine and a bit costly, of course, because it's silk, but this would be used under bridal or finer evening wear where we have the budget to allow for something like that. When you don't have the budget to allow for something like that, here's another piece of goods that I use a lot, which is called sheer shape. And you can see that it has quite a bit of crispness and can also be used for multiple ruffles and even for a base layer for petticoats. The other thing I wanted to mention as far as materials is horsehair. Horsehair is really an important element to the petticoat. It comes in all widths. Here you have quite a wide one, a narrower one, and an even narrower one. So we'll get to that even more when I start talking about how to build the petticoats. But those are the basic materials that you'll need to build a petticoat of any shape or size.